we're actually back in Artist's Alley. Today we're going to be decorating one of the specific lots within Artist's Alley. As part of the build challenge, I'm still considering it just because, like, it counts. Okay, I need to decorate these lots. Sometimes, I said it before, especially I think with the clothier, like, the decorations are what makes it kind of be that type of building. So today is the Dyer. I was really excited to use this like fabric dyeing set because I've used it for a lot of different things, but never actually for someone who supposedly dyes fabric. The interesting part of this lot as well is I have 3 stories to work with. I didn't think it through when I first assigned it to this, but I decided to be stubborn and stick with whatever I originally assigned it to. So right away I knew the top level was probably not going to be used for fabric dyeing, so I was like, well, let's put in like a little sleeping mat and kind of like a living nook. Maybe the person who works out of this space also lives there. I wanted to grab pretty much anything that was fabric-y, which I do in a lot of these types of lots, so my clothier lot, my laundry lot, just anything that's gonna have fabric, I grab everything and then I can narrow it down from there. Some of my inspiration images that I found had like a little workbench basically where they ground up pigments, I'm gonna guess, for dyeing the fabric, so I definitely wanted to include that. Initially I had it on the 2nd floor, but I am going to do a cut at one point. I end up moving it to the top floor because it makes the most sense for it to be up there. I figured the bottom floor is probably a very damp, humid area. Just from what I know of fabric dyeing, not medieval fabric dyeing, but like regular fabric dyeing, there's a lot of heated water involved, and so I just figured that that's going to be a damp area. You don't want dry powdered pigments in a damp area, so definitely not in the lower floor. And then the floor right above it, well, maybe the heat from the dyeing vats is still going to damage them, so why not put them on the very top floor? They aren't going to be very heavy items, so it's not like they have to go up and down the ladder just to get to it. And most of the pigments are going to be stored up there anyways. They're not going to need to be moving vast quantities of pigment throughout the levels, so that's why it made sense in my head to go ahead and put it upstairs. I had a hard time picking out like other items to go in this space, mostly because I'm an over-decorator by nature, and so there's a lot of things that I wanted to put in this lot. I'm like, sometimes less is more. Especially with that lower floor, I did a lot of paring down. Like, I picked out a ton of items. Like, you're gonna see me go through the whole catalog, and then I did cut out the deco catalog just because that's massive, but I really did put a lot of items here. I did grab as well some of the new laundry items because they did fit in with the inspiration images that I was finding, but the inspiration images were actually pretty much the dyeing fabric set is what my inspiration images were, like almost to a T. That round stone thing with the fabric hanging out of it, and also the round half barrel thing with like the pole and the fabric hanging from that. Like, those 2 items were very common in the inspiration images, like to an exact degree. I'm wondering if they were used to actually make the items, but yeah, I was just trying to find things that could be, you know, pigment or used to make pigment, so mortar and pestle, baskets of berries, things like that. Just anything I could really think of to fill the space. I do grab a little teapot and put it upstairs because I wanted to use it. I don't really have logical reason for that. I thought about that mead barrel thing because it kind of looks like the Dyer's vats, but I was like, no. This one was actually pretty hard to just decide on items because there really weren't a ton of visible items in the images that I could find. I'm just like, I don't know what to put in this space, so YOLO, herbs, and jars. But I'm ultimately pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it's an interesting space. This is not going to be a functional space. I think the lower floor it is, because those are functional items, and they're spaced in a way that you can get to them. But the upper floors, I didn't really bother trying to make it a functional space people can walk around in, because most of Artist Alley is more just for the aesthetics. I can go take pictures here if I want to. I can have Sims come to this lot and use certain areas, but I don't need the entire space to be functional. And I don't often make spaces that are not functional, so it's a little self-indulgent for me to not have to worry about routing issues or making sure nothing's gonna get in the way and it's not gonna clip. It's kind of nice to just be like, no, I'm just gonna put whatever I want where I want it, and it doesn't matter. Because Sims don't need to go there. I'm not gonna actually have somebody dyeing fabric. I really like that Roman table that's got the dye, the blue and red basket thing up there. I love that table. Those scrolls are like attached to it. I've downloaded it recently, and yeah, it's just so pretty. It's a pretty piece of CC. So I'm just kind of building out the workbench area a little bit. Yeah, I feel like most of my spaces are, when in doubt, jars and hanging herbs, because a lot of medieval things, like, you could get away with that. Because, yes, crushed flowers can make dye, they can also make medicines, they can also just be decorative, like, they're very multi-purpose. That's why I always download anything, like a hanging plant on a wall, like if it's on a hook or something, like, I will download it immediately. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep grabbing items. I'm actually really excited that I've been able to keep up with this. Like, I've been on a kick lately with posting, and I'm scared to mention it because I'm like, well, then immediately my brain's gonna go, no, we don't want to post anything ever again for 9 months. But yeah, I'm proud of myself that I've been keeping up with my unofficial posting schedule, and also picking up new projects that I've really wanted, but I was just scared that I couldn't keep up with it, so I kind of waited, and so I've got some new projects coming down the line. I don't know when this is going to be posted, so you might already know about them, or they might be upcoming, but there's 2 new projects that will be on the channel, which is cool. I'm putting a little bit more time into YouTube than I did previously. Not because I want to be a YouTuber for a living, but just because I really enjoy my little Sims world. I enjoy Adirin, and I just want to share it, and I want to make sure it's at the quality that I want it, but I also would like, you know, I love to interact with people who are as nerdy as I am about Sims, so the more people who want to come and hang out with me, the better. So I'm trying to be more conscious of things like that. Which isn't saying much, because I'm still pretty meh. I do it for fun, so sometimes it's hard to convince myself, okay, just because it's for fun doesn't mean you need to slack out on this, that, or the other thing. I really don't have anything. Normally for these I have so much to say, and I'm just so tired that I just don't even have really anything to say. I guess I could talk about Judy, my lovely little dog. I definitely got a dog in quarantine, and it's starting to be more and more obvious. She's gone from being pretty attached to me to just today was the clingiest baby dog in the world, because I had to work 8 hours today, and she just sat next to me the whole time. And normally she'll go lay on the couch, she'll go bark at the other dogs in the window, like she'll play with her rope, she's got all the toys and everything. Normally she's fine, but like, no, not today. Today she stared at me and cried if I didn't look at her every couple minutes and pet her head. So yeah, definitely feeling the burden of having a quarantine dog. Don't quite know what I'm gonna do about that, but we'll see. I think moving will help because I'm gonna have a big yard, essentially, that she can run around in. I don't think she's gonna want to go in the yard by herself, as already evidenced by the fact that whenever I'm over there, she does not want to be by herself, but we can go play catch, and maybe with time she'll want to go out there. I'm starting to think, though, that I'm gonna have to, like, start being a little mean, and maybe when I have, like, a door to an office, she's not gonna be allowed in there for a little while, just so she can be fine. She can be on her own and separate, and it's okay. She doesn't cry or anything, it's just she's definitely very attached to me. And I would have her around, like, other dogs more, but she still hasn't quite learned how to be nice to her friends. She goes from, oh boy, you're gonna play with me too. You're not playing the way that I want to play, so I'm gonna growl at you and I'm going to nip at your ears. Always the ears, always the ears. And other dogs don't like that, so then they don't want to play with her. trainer's just like, yeah, she's just kind of annoying to other dogs. I'm like, that's fair. I'm annoying to other human beings. You can kind of see I've basically figured out how I want to do the layout of this place. So the bottom layer is water items, essentially. The second floor is all drying racks, which are functional, but again, I don't think this is a functional space. And then the third floor is like where the dyes are made, where the person who runs this lot kind of lives. I did include one little wash bin item there just in case, like, not just in case, but just I wanted to include it, and that's where it went. I don't know what kind of emergency in the drying racks where they would need to really quickly rinse it. Maybe if something's dying too dark, they can rinse it out really quick. I don't know. And I just hung these up because I think that they're cool. But then I was trying to recolor so there was different colors, and I realized the wood tones attached to each of them are different colors, so I couldn't do it. I was like, fine, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. Here's me hanging all of the herbs. And flowers and all of it. I do love that upstairs space. I think it's so pretty. And I like the simplicity of the second, like, I genuinely do like this as a space. It works. I think it's believable enough in terms of like, is this a Dyer's shop? I almost said Dyer's den, and I don't know where that came from. I was excited to use that, the purple and teal rug, which is actually from Sims 4, Nifty Knitting. Super excited to use it. I was not going to recolor it either. It was going to stay the bright, obnoxious color. And then on the lower floor, I include like these big jugs, essentially. I figured those have like mixed dyes that are ready to be used now, and that's what's in each of those big water tubs. It's like actual dye. And then maybe some dry powdered pigment is in the bags. I'm not an expert. I don't know how medieval dyeing works. I've only dyed clothing kind of in my washing machine or on the stove, so I don't really know how it officially works. This is just me going, could you know, squint and believe it? Okay, it could stay. I've been using that pizza paddle thing a lot because it's very multi-purpose with like laundry items, because usually they had a big stick with something on it, and so it's been very useful. More useful than it ever has been before. I've never used it before. And recently I've used it in like 3 or 4 lots. Also, I got a new deco cat and was very excited that I could use that. Just kind of picking out what I'm gonna keep, what I'm gonna not keep. A lot of jars and things like that I'm getting rid of because I had them, but like I don't really need to keep them. And yeah, I like the little sitting space with like the fabric over it too. I think it's cute. This cosmetics thing I use also quite a bit. It's, again, squint and it could look like a couple different things. I wanted the hourglass, just like timing things, you don't know. I ended up getting rid of the baskets berries though, because they didn't make too much sense. Plus they were big items and I just, I wanted to include these even though I was having a hard time fitting them anywhere because, again, maybe it's a bag of pigment. You don't know. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this a lot. Have you guys built like a Dyer's, I guess, studio business type of thing in your neighborhood before? Have you used those objects? Because I've used them on like residential lots, but never a community lot before. And also, how do you think that I did? Is it believable? Is it squint and you'd buy it? Or is it a little bit off? It's okay if it's a little bit off. I will not be mad. And yeah, go ahead and, I just lost my train of thought. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, because I'm trying to, as I said, spread the word about the medieval silliness and get more people involved. And I'm ending too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. This is my problem. I either take too much time to end things or I don't. But yeah. I guess we're gonna listen to music for the last couple of bits, and I will see you in the next one.